I read where you said, boxing helped save my life. What'd you mean by that?
5 of the fighters that I started with, all of them got killed in the streets.
And you believe boxing?
It definitely saved my life.
I just know that he's not the same person that we seen the last time we seen him in the ring. Been through a lot of stuff. Watching him making the transition, coming from being incarcerated to now, and dealing with courts, dealing with that type of stuff, because that's a trauma and a half for you if you ever been through that type of stuff. Because in boxing, anything can happen. That's like this fight. It's a different type of fight. Anything can happen, you know? But it's going to be a great fight. It's going to be a fight.
Someone in his prime, he's hungry, you know what I mean? He's not someone that's like a walking duck, you know what I mean? He's someone he's coming to win. You know what I mean? He got that mentality that he want to win. Like he's a great opponent. Everybody. So he's seen like me put people out. He's seen me beat the hell out of people. So when we spar, me being me, I rushed him because I knew he was scared, and I wound up getting caught with his best punch is his left hand. And once he caught me with the left hand, that's when I...
Why he hold me? Why he hold me?
Get up off him. Get up off him. You say, no, get up off him.
That's why I say to him, I'm asking him a question, though. Why is he holding you, Damari?
I was looking at
It's looking bad today. That's how it's looking. Cool gonna break some shit. And if he don't break some shit, we're gonna beat the out of him. Over and oh, nice. Oh, killing the rest.
We don't care who it is. We have no friend. Shakur, if his cousin get in the ring, he gonna get the smoke. If his brother get in the ring, he gonna get the smoke. We have no friend. Strictly business.
Step.
What if the biggest twist in Gervonta Tank Davis's next chapter has nothing to do with Shakur Stevenson and everything to do with the people standing behind him? Just when boxing fans thought they had finally figured out the Tank Davis story, the script suddenly flipped. An old name started resurfacing. Trainer rumors began spreading. And now, the entire comeback narrative looks far more complicated than anyone expected. You won't believe how quickly this went from Tank is preparing for another fight.
You first said that?
A father. Father. And then he's one of the guys that held a lot of this, like, this whole family together. Him with Kenny, but for sure, like, them two, they held the whole camp together, for sure.
Wouldn't be here without him? Would you say that? Without Calvin?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't be here without him. Just off of the fact of when I was coming to the gym, I was getting that love that I ain't have at home type stuff. So it was always like, Calvin, saying I walked through the gym, Calvin, like, looking for him type stuff.
He told me he used to come to the gym and you'd be outside, sleep in front of the gym, in front of the door.
Yeah, I used to run from I go to school, and then from school, I go straight to the gym. Don't tell my grandma or nothing. Let's go straight to the gym. And the gym was closed. The gym didn't even, I used to get out of school probably 3 o'clock, and the gym didn't open till like 4:30. I'd just be outside just sleeping on the front of the gym, just waiting. Police grabbed me before, like, get up. I think I'm just out here just grab me, like, what you doing out here? I'm waiting on it.
Who exactly is in Tank's corner? On one side, you have Shakur Stevenson confidently talking about the biggest fights, openly mentioning Tank and Devin Haney, and essentially saying the era of waiting around is over. On the other side, you have Tank Davis, the superstar who has spent years building an aura around himself, where every move becomes a headline and every social media exchange turns into a storyline.
More focused, like more like, I think my focus probably a little bit more stronger than, because I know what I'm up against. You know what I mean? You know how, like, there ain't time to play. You know what I mean? Straight to it. That's why today I was trying to get, like, straight to the point. You know what I mean?
As athletes, we understand that.
For real. Like, when you know you got something, like, a big task in front of you, you don't really want to play with it because you don't want to have that, like, at the end of the day, like, I know I could have did better.
Right, no doubt.
You know what I mean? You know you could have did better.
None of this matters.
Yeah.
The fight matters.
Yeah,
exactly.
for sure.
Football season is entering its final stage.
Every potential matchup becomes a full-blown boxing soap opera. Then, boom, the Calvin Ford storyline comes crashing back into the picture. Now, before we go any further, let's make one thing clear. This is entertainment commentary based on public discussions, reports, and online speculation, not a claim that every rumor circulating online is true. But if even half of the conversations surrounding Tank's next move are accurate, then the real drama may be unfolding far away from the bright lights of fight night.
It's just about, like, figuring your opponent out, just any little thing. Just any little thing, like, just how he react off of stuff, like, his movement, like, his feedback, like, what, is he coming straight back, or he, like, more, like,
sure.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Fill him out.
Everything, just everything, even, like, the face-off, like, how we just walk up to each other, like, me just looking at his arms, see how long his arms is, like, how tall he is. I didn't even know he was that tall. I mean, that short. I mean, well, he's not short, but he's not that much taller than me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I mean...
Tank recently spoke about Calvin Ford in a way that instantly made fans stop scrolling. He didn't simply describe him as a trainer. He spoke of Ford as something much deeper, a father figure, a mentor, and one of the people who helped hold his entire boxing family together. And this is where the story takes its first major turn. While fans were busy debating who would win between Tank and Shakur, Tank was talking about the man who helped shape him long before he became one of boxing's biggest stars. Think about that for a second.
Right deal for me because obviously, you know, they got the big money behind them. Also, they ready to put me in the biggest fights possible. And I just feel like it's that time in my career. I feel like now it's like we're ready to fight the biggest fights and fight the best fighters and see who is who. And
Tank reportedly remembered going straight from school to the gym, waiting outside before it even opened simply because he wanted to be around boxing. Imagine that. While most kids were heading home, Tank was reportedly sitting outside a locked gym, waiting for the doors to open. According to his own recollections, that gym became more than just a place to train. It became a second home. Calvin Ford became more than a coach. Suddenly, the trainer storyline isn't just about tactics, punches, or game plans. It's personal, it's emotional, it's history.
We could say that the fights that, the small fry fights that some of the fans want to see, that we would claim as big fights, we could say that them fights is with the top ranks of somebody else, but truthfully, the big fights is the big fights that I've been winning for years and years, as in the Devin Haney's and the Gervonta Davis. And Zuffa works with Turkey. I think Turkey does the deals with Zuffa and they all align. So all of boxing is under one umbrella, however we want to look at it. We could play as though it's these beefs and these wars, but they all got to answer to the big dog. And when the big dog, he want the biggest and best fights too. So if he want the biggest and best fights, I don't think nothing is going to get in the way of that. Because at first he said he wouldn't fight me. He said he'll never fight me. He don't want me to feed my family, or however he put it. Now I done heard him say on Twitter that he will fight me. So it sounds like his tune is changing. I think, honestly, he may not admit it, but I think he got a lot of respect for me as a fighter, which is why I think he's planning on leaving the game. He plans on fighting me as his last fight on his way out the door. That's why I don't think, like, even right now when you see him like negotiate, he's trying to negotiate with Devin, but there has not been no real negotiation with me. So I think maybe like his respect for me as a fighter, you know, like what I've been saying for years, he may not want to admit it. I'm the guy that's going to admit it. We are the two guys that's the best in the sport, and our destinies is calling each other to fight.
Then the boxing internet did what the boxing internet always does. It started connecting the dots faster than a detective racing against a deadline. If Tank speaks so highly of Calvin Ford, why are there reports and online discussions about other trainers being involved? Why are people talking about Jose Benavidez Sr? Why are analysts debating whether that partnership makes sense? And why does every conversation about Tank's next chapter somehow circle back to the same question? Who is actually guiding the man who wants to conquer the next stage of his career?
Shakur Stevenson fight. You know, as more time goes on,
it's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I always sit there and say, fight's gonna happen. Get the same because when everything line up, everybody's situated, they're gonna make it happen. They're gonna make it do what it do when it's time to do it.
And you're still, I would imagine, confident in Gervonta in that fight.
Like I said,
how have you seen Shakur get better?
To me, Shakur was always better. You know what I'm saying? But again, there's nobody that he's been in front of that really put him through that yet.
A testament.
Right. So, when I look at certain fights, it's not a threat. You know what I'm saying? But Shakur is Shakur. He's always been Shakur since he was a kid. But again, I haven't seen anything that make me go, oh my God. Like they talked about Devin, Haney, and Shakur, both of them boxers. How that fight gonna unfold. You know what I'm saying? Devin, he's a good boxer, and Shakur is a good boxer. That's a boxing match to be watched. You know what I'm saying?
Fake breaking news. Tank's trainer situation has become the boxing internet's favorite mystery. Okay, maybe that's a little dramatic, but you get the point. The moment another trainer's name enters the conversation, everyone suddenly becomes a boxing detective. Fans begin analyzing old interviews, analysts start comparing styles, social media begins replaying old clips, and suddenly a potential coaching change becomes a full-blown storyline. Some commentators have even suggested that
it's hard to say. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I can't even say that because Devin Price said it's no threat. It's no threat. It's not like you're going against a puncher. You know what I'm saying? So Devin might take a chance. So it's based on, like I said, it's going to be a good boxing match. Who throw the best shots that night? You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nobody get knocked out that night. You know what I'm saying? But again, we have to wait and see.
Do you think it would be like the battle of like maybe IQ and real estate in the ring, right?
That's a good question because Devin can box. And Shakur, he's a master at what he does. You know what I'm saying? Like I said again, it's a good matchup for both of them if the fight happens. I like what Bill doing. He's a master at it. I give him this prop. You know what I'm saying? So just hoping to see it happen because it's good for boxing. That's all we need at this stage in time, that boxing keep having great matchups because everybody keeps saying since Gervonta, it haven't been exciting to watch.
Now, questions are being raised about whether Jose Benavidez Sr. would be the ideal tactical fit for Tank. Others have suggested that a different veteran trainer might suit Davis's style better. Then there's another group saying, hold on, maybe this isn't about tactics at all. Maybe it's about chemistry. Maybe it's about trust. Maybe it's about finding the environment that keeps Tank completely locked in. And that's where the story becomes even more interesting because Shakur Stevenson isn't waiting around for everyone to finish debating. Shakur has reportedly made it clear that he wants the biggest fights possible. Music, he has repeatedly mentioned Tank Davis and Devin Haney as the kind of matchups he wants. In other words, Shakur isn't presenting himself as someone looking for a quiet afternoon at the office. He's presenting himself as a man who wants the entire division to answer one question.
This is now, as you see here, he's going to be working with well-renowned trainer Jose Benavidez Sr., the father and trainer and manager to top 5 pound-for-pound best fighters in the world, 3-division champion, superstar boxer who will be a first ballot Hall of Famer, the Mexican Ecuadorian monster David Benavidez, and the blue chip prospect who was well on his way to superstardom before injuries derailed his career, in Jose Benavidez Jr., whom you may see in the movie Creed, Fort Terrence Crawford, Fort Jamal Charlo. So, Jose Benavidez.
Who is actually the best? According to Shakur's public comments, the Zuffa boxing era represents an opportunity to make those fights happen. He has spoken about the financial backing, the ambition, and the possibility of putting elite fighters in the same ring. And now you have this fascinating collision of narratives. Tank is reportedly entering a new chapter. Shakur is openly calling for the biggest challenges. Devin Haney is sitting somewhere in the middle of this triangle. And the fans? The fans are basically sitting ringside at the world's most chaotic boxing family reunion. But wait, because here's the first twist. What if Tank and Shakur aren't actually the real story? What if the bigger story is the battle over who controls the future of the lightweight and junior welterweight divisions? Stay with me because this is where the speculation gets interesting. Shakur has suggested that the biggest fights are the ones fans have been waiting for, not necessarily the smaller matchups that promoters might prefer to build first. Tank, meanwhile, has become one of boxing's biggest attractions by moving at his own pace, choosing his moments and turning every appearance into an event. So when these two finally collide, it won't simply be boxer versus boxer.
Boxing or more, whatever it's called, that he's gonna train with Jose Benavidez.
Yeah. Is that a good fit from a boxing standpoint? Yeah, I don't know.
No. I mean,
First impression. That's your first impression, right? Could be wrong.
I don't. By the way, so, okay, how do I say it? It's a thing.
It will be two completely different approaches to boxing stardom crashing into each other. Shakur's message is essentially, prove it against the best. Tank's entire career has been built around the idea that when the bell rings, the answer comes inside the ring. And that's exactly why this matchup carries so much excitement. But then Calvin Ford enters the conversation once again, and suddenly the old guard is speaking. Ford has reportedly expressed confidence that the Tank Shakur fight will eventually happen when the timing and business finally align. That statement might sound harmless until you realize what it actually implies. It suggests that the fight isn't necessarily about whether it happens, but about when everything behind the scenes finally comes together. And that's a huge difference because boxing fans have been conditioned to hear the fight will happen and immediately translated into the fight is happening next. Those are not the same thing, not even close. In boxing, eventually can mean next month, next year, or sometime after 3 other fighters have changed divisions, retired, returned, and even started a podcast. That's why fans are watching every move so closely. Then Ford reportedly offered another interesting opinion. Shakur is talented, technically gifted, and highly skilled. But in his view, he hasn't yet faced the type of opponent who truly pushes him into uncomfortable territory. Now, that's not a prediction of failure. It's a challenge, and it creates another important question. What happens when the boxer known for controlling distance meets the fighter known for explosive power? What happens when technical precision meets calculated aggression? What happens when the man who believes he can outthink you meets the man who believes he can change the entire fight with one single moment? That's the matchup fans can't stop talking about. But then plot twist number 2 arrives, and the conversation suddenly shifts to Devin Haney. Because while Tank and Shakur dominate the headlines, Haney remains a major piece of this puzzle. Shakur has reportedly spoken about wanting that fight as well, and Ford has described a potential Haney-Shakur matchup as a fascinating tactical battle. But here's the interesting part. If Shakur is talking about Tank, Haney, and the biggest possible fights, then boxing fans are looking at a 3-way collision where every road seems to lead to another superstar. And that's the intimidating part for everyone involved. Not intimidating in a dangerous sense, but intimidating in the boxing sense. The kind that makes you wonder what happens when 2 elite fighters finally run out of excuses, negotiations, delays, and distractions. Because eventually, if the fight happens, the interviews disappear, the tweets disappear, the rumors disappear, the trainer debates disappear, the social media noise disappears, and there are only 2 men standing across from each other. So maybe the biggest mystery isn't whether Tank Davis will fight Shakur Stevenson. Maybe the real mystery is which version of Tank Davis will show up when he finally does. The loyal student shaped by Calvin Ford? The evolving fighter influenced by a new coaching philosophy? The superstar determined to silence every doubter? Or someone completely different that nobody has seen before? And if Tank's entire story has been about overcoming obstacles, rebuilding himself, and surrounding himself with the right people, then perhaps the biggest fight isn't just Tank versus Shakur. Perhaps it's Tank versus the expectations that come with being Tank Davis. So now I have to ask you, if the Tank Shakur fight finally happens, do you think a reunion with Calvin Ford, or perhaps a new training partnership, will be the secret ingredient that changes everything? Or are we all focused on the wrong story while the real battle is taking place somewhere we can't see? Because in boxing, the loudest headline is rarely the whole story. Sometimes the biggest reveal is the one hiding in plain sight.